What's up, guys? Welcome back to Michigan Muckraker. My name's Michelle. Hopefully, the video smoothed out. And today is November 7th of 2023, which means it's an election day. And I'm very sorry I forgot to announce it yesterday. I don't know why it slipped my mind, but it's a very important election day for Green Charter Township, which is supposed to host Gotion, the Chinese EV battery manufacturing plant that we did not get a vote on in this region, even though it's going to bring regional change. So the entire board got recalled, and those elections are today. I wanted to thank everybody for joining me today. I hope that I can share with you some new information that you did not know already. So let's jump in. This is the last article I talked about, and I was wondering why it was so short from MLive. And lo and behold, it's because there is actually an article in Big Rapids Pioneer. And the Green Charter Township elections, the information it's at the Green Township Hall today. Doesn't say a time. Absentee ballots from Morley or addressed to Morley are valid. So you see the details here. You know, if you're in Green Charter Township, consider voting. I mean, you should know by now what's going on, I'm sure. So this was the actual article that MLive was quoting. Gotion project in Green Charter Township, a done deal. VP Chuck Thelen states they are committed and moving forward. October 31st of 2023. So Gotion Inc. plan for Green Charter Township in Mecosta County is a done deal. A recent letter from Gotion VP Chuck Thelen wrote to the MEDC. In the letter, Thelen said Gotion Inc. is fully committed to establishing a manufacturing facility in Green Charter Township as discussed, and we consider the project a done deal. According to the letter, the company is in the process of developing, planning, and finalizing site plans for the facility and making a selection of the agricultural engineering firm to develop design drawings for the facility. So there's no site plan. We still haven't seen any environmental impact studies. So waiting on that, but there is hope. Of course, there's always hope. A lot of people think that there is hesitancy, and Marshall the same way, which I'm going to get into today. But they definitely are saying this right before the election. I didn't even consider it until somebody else wrote a piece in the Big Rapids Pioneer, and I'm going to share that with you as well. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They're trying to, it's propaganda right before an election. That's what this is. Gotion is an environmentally centered company, and in being so, we are committed to follow all regulatory instructions and ensure that the facility will meet and exceed all the state and federal expectations, Thelen said. We have contracted a highly respected environmental consulting firm that has confirmed no endangered species exist on the building site. This conclusion exposes the fabrications that were recently published in the form of a notice of intent to sue by some individuals trying to damage Gotion's impeccable, environmentally friendly reputation. I wouldn't go that far, but impeccable, really? Excuse me. So the notice of intent to sue by some individuals, that is going to be MESA. They are suing for using the Endangered Species Act. And so he's saying that this is just a notice of intent to sue. Excuse me. And so that they're not actually suing. Now, of course, Lori Brock later on does get to respond. It was a few days later than what this was published, but at least the Big Rapids Pioneer did publish her response on November 1st, or was it 2nd? So it could have just been the day after, but let's continue. So we come down here. In addition, they continue to interact and confer with local Green Charter Township officials to determine how Gotion can best serve the community through volunteer work and helping to fund key projects that were previously outside the township's budget, he said. So he's going on and on about his jobs, the jobs that they are hiring for. They've only hired 10 positions, but they've gotten overwhelming response, allegedly, 350 resumes received for those 10 positions. Anyway, as always, the article will be linked down below if you want to read the entire thing yourself. Gotion remains steadfast in our commitment to provide our community a chance to be at the forefront of a new and exciting technological product which drives environmental responsibility and provides reinvigorating economic opportunities, he said. Thelen thanked the MEDC and the state government for the support to help bring Gotion Inc. to Michigan and deliver in their commitment of 2,350 jobs. So the MEDC and the state government is who we should thank for shoving this down our throat, this regional change we didn't get to vote for. So thank you, MEDC and state government, and of course, Gotion. So this was updated on Wednesday, November 1st, so the day after. Chuck Thelen, and this is Lori Brock that is responding, who owns Majestic Frisian Horse Farm that is across the street from the proposed site, the Gotion site. So she, of course, has a vested interest in everything that's going on. Chuck Thelen's remarks are inaccurate, as usual. Gotion is not a done deal, as he exclaims. They have been served by the Eklund and Blando law firm with notice of intent to sue based on the environmental violation posed on this gigafactory, and the 60-day required notice window is about to expire, at which time the lawsuit will proceed, Brock said. The Mecosta Environmental and Security Alliance is heading this suit, and the massive local opposition to this project continues. Depending on next week's election results, Gotion may find that the next board won't allow them to continue to completely upend our community and way of life in Charter Township, as the current board has. Now, I'm going to be real with you. I really hope that the recall works and that the people vote and that their vote is heard. I really hope the system works. But Chapman is very connected now. He's got friends in extremely high places. And I'm a very cynical person. I haven't believed in the elections since I've been an adult. And so I hope that, again, the process works. But I'm going to show you. He's got the same lawyers as Whitmer. I've read an article in one of my videos on it, and I'm going to share just that little snippet because it's important. He's very connected. And it's in the best interest for Gotion and the state of Michigan and MEDC, these very powerful people that we are going up against, for the board to stay the same because they're all bought and paid for or whatever, allegedly. They're for Gotion. So the pro-Gotion side has a vested interest for this board to stay the same. So again, I hope justice actually prevails. It didn't for Flint. After $60 million worth of lawsuits and court dates and everything else, nobody got charged and it's dropped. It's over. So I have an article on that today to get to. But yeah, it's hard when you see so much injustice, which is why I've been calling this dystopian news, because that is dystopian when you have such injustice in the system. But anyway, I hope and pray today works, that the board gets recalled, or the board that was recalled gets voted out as the people want. I just hope that every vote counts and that it's not rigged or anything else. That's all I'm trying to say. Kelly, thank you for joining me, praying for the new No Gotion board. Yep, I think it's time for some fresh blood, and it's not just because these people were pro-Gotion. I want to clarify. It is the utter disregard for the concerns of the constituents that they are supposed to be representing, and not only that, but just how the board treated these people that did not want Gotion, or at least wanted to vote, right, or wanted to say. So they were completely unprofessional. I was very, very surprised, and with all of the other shady stuff that has been going on, it's for all of that, not just because they stand with Gotion. But thank you, by the way, Kelly, for hanging out. And if you do live in Charter Township, I hope you get to vote. I don't know what time it's open. The website doesn't say, but Brock also stated his claim that Gotion won't align with any offshore political ideals is patently false, given their CEO is a member of the Chinese Communist Party, as documented in his own biography on the World Economic Forum's website, and their articles of association require complete allegiance to the CCP. If you're naive enough to believe this is just boilerplate language, and they don't mean it, as Chuck Thelen has claimed, then you probably also believe China's claim that the balloon they flew over U.S. military bases was a weather balloon. But we shouldn't be surprised. Mr. Thelen has a history of lies, like his claims that Volkswagen was the majority owner of Gotion, and it was a diverse ownership group, when in fact it is wholly owned and operated by a CCP-obligated firm. And that was her response. So there was 3, what are they called, opinion pieces, I think, that were in the Big Rapids Pioneer. But first, I was looking into Gotion in Vietnam. I went down a rabbit hole. I'm not going to go into that today, but I came down here. What is Gotion in Michigan? People also ask this. The opposition is to a plan by Gotion, a subsidiary of a Chinese company, to build a $2.4 billion electric vehicle battery factory on roughly 270 acres of largely uninhabited scrubland. This bothered me. I'm like, scrubland? What is scrubland? An investment of that magnitude can transform a local economy, but in this case, it is unwelcome by many. And this was October 3rd. So, of course, I look up scrubland, and I accidentally got rid of it. So let's just look at it right here. Land consisting of scrub vegetation. And you kind of see some pictures here of what I would think of scrubland, which is like the Mojave Desert. No, this is not scrubland, y'all. And I couldn't find a good picture in time, but this is one I have. It's way back here, and I'm sorry if you can't really see it, but these are trees, okay? This is forests and wetlands. This is on water. That's why they are putting a battery plant here, because it needs a lot of water. So it's not like a scrubland. It's not scrub vegetation. This is beautiful wetland woods, okay? And this was from a rally beginning of this year or sometime this year. So wanted to clarify that. It bothered me. Scrubland? No, it's not scrubland, okay? Letter to the editor. Here we go. In my mind, it's never a done deal. This, of course, is in response. There are 3 responses I'm going to share with you, and this is one of them. Gotion will never be a done deal to me. This article, Gotion Facility in Green Township is a done deal, is, I believe, fear-mongering put out by Chuck Thelen. It is a propaganda piece just before the November 7th elections. It seems Mr. Thelen is at his best when propagandizing this Gotion plant to this community. It is beyond just a sales pitch. It is a scare tactic, similar to the other piece on the 350 applications. I have met people who are against it, but they feel helpless to do anything. And with articles like this, a done deal, they feel powerless against something they oppose. To me, bingo, the point of the scare tactic. This is not about what the people want or don't want. It is about manipulation and steamrolling, making people powerless, making them accept this against the reservations. With actions like this, including that of the MEDC, democracy is almost gone. I commend him for saying almost gone, personally. I think it's pretty much gone. I think it is gone, if it ever existed. I don't know. We've been forcing democracy around the world for a long time, 60 years at least. So, unfortunately, yeah, democracy is gone in Michigan. Wind and solar taken out of the townships. It bugs me. Hey, Zoltan, thank you very much for being here. Good morning. A lot of Michigan stuff today. I do have some other things, but because of the elections and all of this new stuff that came out on Gotion, I wanted to update. And then Marshall as well. Those are the big ones. So Mr. Thelen made the statement here of having their assurance of no political support, i.e. ties to China. But it's soft wording. Regarding this point, I had just submitted an 18-page paper to my local and state leaders about all the problems we were having with China. And we are supposed to have their assurance, their word, this China-owned plant, as they admit, will not be a venture for more espionage in our country. In light of the danger, we are supposed to take them at their word, but try getting a loan at your mere word. Try getting a loan at all, period. You're tightening lending pretty good. I cannot sit idly by when I see what is happening, and for this, which has all the appearances of pushing us into dejection regarding this mega taxpayer-funded Chinese plant, exactly what it is, Gotion will never be a done deal. Even if it should come here, I and others will continue to oppose it, just as Arkansas is removing a Chinese company, which I did not I don't remember reading that. If I did read it, I don't remember it, which happens. I thought I had a pretty good idea of Mr. Thelen, but now it is cemented in my mind from the very wording in this article. When he states such things as fabrication by some individuals, it gives me his attitude and manipulation. Even Lori Brock noted this in her response on the online edition of the paper, that his remarks are inaccurate. No, the only fabrication by some individuals here is the fabrications and sleight of hand that he and now I have proven that Mr. Chapman has given us. This is just propaganda and fear-mongering on his part, an attempt at more manipulation either directed at the general population or the local leaders in particular, but I'm not falling for it. Bruce Bowling, Big Rapids Township. I thought it was a well-written little piece, so thank you for that. I wanted to share this little bit with you. This is out of the Detroit Free Press. The article is Whitmer Team Michigan Democrats Tied to Marshall Money and Ford Fight. So Whitmer and state economic development officials say projects they pursue are supported by local communities. But in Marshall Township, the Ford project is slated for land in the township, not Marshall proper. Green Charter Township and Eagle Township, an array of vocal and active neighbors oppose the deals for a variety of reasons. In all three communities, that opposition manifested in separate pushes to oust local elected leaders. In the Marshall area, local residents also pursued a ballot initiative and filed a lawsuit. And in each of these cases, the township officers facing potential recall turned to at least two lawyers, Chris Treblecock and Vincent Sallin. Hopefully I'm saying that right. These two individuals work for Clark Hill, a firm of more than 700 lawyers. When Whitmer faced scrutiny in 2021 over a private jet she took to Florida at the height of COVID restrictions to see her sick dad, well, we could not see our sick individual family members, elderly. I'm not going to get into it, but yes, she flew a private jet to see her sick dad while we were all locked down by a tyrant. Treblecock represented the governor in her campaign. He also represented a secretive nonprofit affiliated with the governor that initially sought to cover the cost of the flight. Yeah, you can't make up this crazy crap. So you come down here and it says Treblecock also represented the township supervisor in Eagle Township. Court records show both Salon, and Treblecock represent the Green Charter Township supervisor, according to court records. They did not respond to requests for comment. And we don't know how he's paying for it. So whatever it says, Green Charter Township Supervisor James Chapman declined to say how he's paying his lawyers. He said he learned of their expertise from conversation with friends, but declined to name any of them. Whatever I'm doing and how I'm paying for it is my business, Chapman said, adding if he's paying for the lawyers with campaign funds, he'll include the expenditure in his campaign filings. So just some food for thought. Now, this is a letter to the editor. We support Gotion. Here's why. It's short, and I thought I should include all three of the letters to be fair. And I think it's telling why we support Green Charter Township Board and the Gotion Project. We were, and are still, convinced that Gotion will bring good-paying jobs into West Central Michigan area. For years, friends and family have left the area or commuted to the Grand Rapids area to earn a better income than they could in Big Rapids. With news of jobs paying well over $20 an hour and additional businesses and companies likely to follow, it made sense. So if it was well over $20 an hour, why wouldn't you say over 25? If, well over $20 an hour to me would be, 26, 27, 28. 29, so well over 20, it's under 25. That's what I'm trying to say. Otherwise, they would say 20 over 25 because that sounds better than 20. In 2017, then Governor Rick Snyder had made 8 trips, and in 2018, he made his last trip to China on an investment mission and met with high-level officials on topics such as manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism. Snyder said the value of building relationships with other countries cannot be overstated, and he made the case that there is no better place than Michigan North America for China to create those jobs. Michigan now ranks third in the nation in the number of investment projects from China. High-tech battery technology seems here to stay, and we hope that Big Rapids can be part of that technology and growth. Kevin and Tracy Cushway, Big Rapids. Of course, I read this and I'm like, I don't think that that's a good thing at all. Are you saying this because he was Republican? So in 2017, Governor Snyder sold us out to China. So now it's okay that Whitmer is doing it? Like, no, it's not okay that either one. I don't like that Snyder did all that. I don't like that Michigan now ranks third in the nation in the number of investment projects from China. I don't like that at all. How about Michigan investments, American investments, not Chinese investments, and not this high-tech battery technology crap? That's where I'm at. So this is the last one of the letter to the editor. When change is needed, we act. And this is from the Township Board potentials, the ones that you could be voting in today. They wrote this together, or at least they signed it together. When you see that change is needed, it's time to step up and be the change. That is exactly what we want the candidates are trying to do as we run against the current Green Charter Township Board. From the first announcement of Gotion a year until now, we have heard a lot of misinformation, and with that, a lot of misrepresentation too. From the lies told in Lansing of strong community support, to the fact that Gotion has no ties to the CCP and there are no environmental risks. A large portion of the community and beyond have voiced their concerns over this project, yet these concerns have fallen on deaf ears. These issues were the catalyst for the petition to recall the entire Green Charter Township Board. The Quilted Gardener says yes, and how many of these jobs will be given to Americans? Great question. So far, there's 10, and allegedly all 10 were filled by people within a 25-mile radius. Now, does that mean they're all Americans? Who knows? I mean, I'm about to show you something in a couple articles here that is very surprising to me. So this summer, volunteers collected 630 signatures. Zoltan, the man, red, blue, two sides of the same coin, doesn't matter. The pendulum shifts back and forth. Yes, they jerk us around that way. It's like a 1-2 punch. Look over here, and then they swing over with the left, and vice versa. And so we do. I always say 2 wings of the same bird, and the bird doesn't really like us. This summer, volunteers collected 630 signatures in just 20 days to recall current Green Charter Township Supervisor Jim Chapman. Imagine how many more we could have had if he had not appealed and we had the full 60 days. When you blatantly ignore the voice of the people who elect you, who are you actually working for? Great question. We live in a time where people across our nation are sick and tired of career politicians who have taken ownership of our communities and lives but never take responsibility for their actions. We are tired of them being our voice when they refuse to listen to us. Green Charter Township residents are no different. It's time for a change in leadership of our local governing body, and it's time to give it back to the people. We have been called many slanderous names by Jim Chapman, from radical extremists and fearmongers to paid protesters. These names were used in fear and malice, when in truth, we are your neighbors, friends, family, and fellow Green Charter Township residents concerned for the health and well-being of our township, state, and all who live here. Again, I know that this Green Charter Township is where Goshen's going to be, but I live on the river that it's going to be sitting on. And so regional change, it should be a regional decision. We should have all known about it. None of us running against the board were looking for these positions and would be fine going about our lives as they were before. Yet we have seen that a change in local leadership is needed, and we have stepped up to be that change. We vow to bring back transparency, communication, honesty, and integrity to our own township. A full audit and review of township finances will be the first step. We know what it's like to have your voice fall on deaf ears, and we're excited to connect with and listen to the concerns and desires of our neighbors in Green Charter Township. We all have diverse backgrounds, different skills and experience to bring to the new board. We all have called Green Charter Township home for many years, some of us for decades, and we care deeply about our community. We are committed to working with our neighbors and community to keep it Green Charter Township, a beautiful, quiet, and peaceful place to live. Don't forget to vote on November 7th. Jason Cruz, Corey Rybo, Rob Henderson, Kelly Cushway, and Jeff Thorne, Green Charter Township. So yeah, Kelly Cushway, and then the other two individuals were Cushways too, Kevin and Tracy. So I wonder how that's going, if they're family. Do they fight about it? I mean, I really don't want to know, but I did just pop through my head, and I said it out loud to you. So the jobs aren't even given to state workers. I have a friend working on LG battery plant in Holland, and the construction workers are union guys from Texas and Cali, or Korean. Hello, family. Dragonfly, thank you for joining. Good morning. So I think, yes, I did share it. Ford's still mulling future of $3.5 billion battery plant in Michigan. This was November 1st, so a couple days ago, but I looked today and I did not find anything on it. So they still have it paused. Now, who knows why, but they were saying, well, some people were saying that the strikes were the main cause. Now the strikes are over. Why are they still paused? Maybe they lost too much money during the strike, or maybe the other theories were correct. Ford might be worried about their reputation because it's a bunch of farmers that don't want them to come to Michigan, and they've already destroyed the land though. I mean, look at it. It's awful if you look at it from a drone perspective. So that sucks. But still, if we could not have the EV battery plant poison the water in the area, contaminate it, that would be amazing, right? So construction remains paused on Ford Motor Company's $3.5 billion EV battery plant in Marshall, even after the automaker reached a tentative agreement to end the United Auto Workers strike. Maybe they actually see, this is something I considered, maybe they actually saw that the people don't want EVs. And so even though the state is forcing it, we aren't sleeping like they thought. Like, we are actually saying, hey, no, we don't want this. And so maybe they're deciding what side they want to be on. You know, do you want to be on the side? I don't know, though. That seems very wishful thinking, right? Because they do have a friend in Klaus Schwab, so there are more of us, though. So I got to keep being positive. Maybe, right? When we paused the project, we didn't specify a single reason. Ford spokesperson T.R. Reid said in an email, "We're still reevaluating the economics of that investment, but remain committed to lithium ion phosphate batteries in certain Ford EVs." So yeah, maybe we are saying no enough. Enough people are saying no to EVs that they're questioning whether it's a good investment. You know, one can only hope. So now we're going to get into something a little bit different. We're going to shift gears. Those are the only updates I really had on Ford, Marshall, and Gotion. Good luck to everybody that was running, whether you're in Green Charter Township or not. You know, I don't know much going on in this election, but I'm going to remedy that. In next election, I should know what's on certain tickets and stuff like that. I'll try to get better with election coverage. But today, Whitmer cancels Dearborn visit after Arab American group planned protest. This was actually October 31st is when they wrote this article, so I'm assuming that's when she canceled. Governor Gretchen Whitmer canceled her plans to speak at a Muslim-led health clinic's fundraiser in Dearborn over the weekend after an Arab American group threatened to protest the event over her support of Israel. Whitmer also announced her office is working with members of Congress to help Michigan residents stuck in Gaza come back home. So there are some residents that are stuck in Gaza right now. Come down here. We've been very disturbed by Whitmer's unequivocal support of Israel, her unwillingness to call for a ceasefire, Czar told the Free Press Monday, which I guess I shouldn't have skipped it. A Dearborn attorney and Palestinian American activist who often leads rallies for Palestinians as president of New Generation for Palestine, posted on Facebook a call to his 216,000 followers for people to protest at 12:30 p.m. outside the fundraiser. It contained a poster with Whitmer's photo reading, "Whitmer not welcome in Dearborn." Wow. New Generation for Palestine is a Palestinian American group that often holds rallies for Palestinians in Metro Detroit. So she canceled because they were going to protest. There's no denying that. Like, she's going to say some other crap, but that's why she canceled. On Sunday, Whitmer released a statement that praised the Huda clinic, but said she didn't want to be a distraction. The statement did not say why specifically she canceled, and it did not mention the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. So, very interesting there. And I found that this is a couple days later, so November 4th. Refugees, immigrants can get driver's license help at Dearborn Resource Fair. Refugees and immigrants who need help obtaining a driver's license, buying a car, and navigating auto insurance can attend a free resource fair on Wednesday. The event, organized by the Southeast Michigan Refugee Collaborative and Economic Development Organization, Global Detroit, is intended to help new arrivals access transportation. A lack of affordable and accessible transportation is one of the main barriers people encounter when they arrive, specifically as they seek jobs and services, according to the groups. The fair will offer 3 workshops walking people through how to get a driver's license by Michigan Department of State, how to purchase a vehicle by First Merchants Bank, and understanding auto insurance options by the Michigan Department of Insurance and Financial Services. Attendees can also get information about organizations, agencies, and businesses that provide public and private transportation services and programs. The driving resource fair is open to everyone, though the focus of the event is on immigrants who receive benefits from the Office of Refugee Resettlement, including refugees and asylees. Interested individuals do not need to register for the event. The workshop will be in English and translated in Arabic, Dari, and Pashto. Sorry if I said that wrong. That's an Iranian dialect. The event takes place in Dearborn, where a majority of the population is of Middle Eastern or North African descent. In 2016, Michigan was the 4th largest state for refugee resettlement, taking in more than 30,000 arrivals over the previous decade, Global Detroit reported. The number of refugees who have settled in Michigan has increased from 1,206 in 2022 to 2,348 this year, according to Michigan Department of Labor and Economic Opportunity. All right, so we got Me Too, but in Big Rapids. All right, the Quilted Gardener, call me stupid, but I thought you had to be a citizen of this country to get a driver's license. Thank you for pointing that out. Yes, I thought that too, but that's not the case. See, here in Michigan, you can be a refugee, which is not a legal immigrant. Okay, and so when I read this, I'm like, I just can't believe this. And then this right here, the state expects nearly 10,000 arrivals in Michigan next year. So we increased from 1,206 in 2022 refugees, 2,348 this year in 2023. So 1,000 more. Now next year, 10,000 more arrivals expected. Wow. That's crazy. And already our governor is afraid to go to Dearborn because of the culture there. Good morning, Connie. You are late, but we love you and we welcome you with open arms. Thank you for joining us. After the Taliban took over Afghanistan in 2021, hundreds of Afghans arrived in Michigan. More than 3,800 Ukrainians arrived in the state after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So what's going to happen with this, right? What's going to happen with this new war that our central planners have planned for us? Last year, a new coalition launched in Detroit to help Ukrainians and Afghans find jobs, housing, and transportation. Having a driver's license, advocates say, is crucial for immigrants to work and boost local economic growth. Michigan law does not allow people who do not have proof of legal immigration status to get a driver's license or state ID. Democratic lawmakers have reintroduced legislation to change that by allowing undocumented immigrants and others in the state to obtain a driver's license and a state identification card. Those whom the federal government identifies as legally present in the U.S., including green card holders like refugees and people with valid visas and employment authorization, can get a Michigan driver's license, according to Michigan Legal Help. Okay, and there might be a little bit more. No, this is just some information. All right, so now I thought about this, and then I thought about this article that I read. Secretary of State unveils automatic voter registration. And I have talked about this once before because I moved back to Michigan in 2019, earlier in the year, and I got my driver's license. But I was automatically registered. I had never registered before. And when I got my registration in the mail, I'm like, why? I've never signed up for this. But this is why. Michigan took a leap forward into the modern era by announcing new voter registration policies on National Voter Registration Day. This is, again, 2019. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson announced today that automatic voter registration has officially launched in Michigan, and online voter registration will be available following the November 2019 election. Making voter registration automatic for eligible citizens means more Michigan residents will have access to participating in our democracy. So that makes me think, okay, eligible citizens, perhaps these individuals that are not legal immigrants, these individuals are not going to be eligible because for this automatic registration. But do you trust the government to have the capability to discern if everyone's getting a driver's license and driver's license triggers a voter registration card? Why wouldn't it do that for refugees? I'm just asking. I don't know. Benson said in a release, "I look forward to this, both strengthening our democracy and ultimately helping transactions move more quickly in branch offices by eliminating extra paperwork." See, the first half I felt a little bit of confidence, and then the second half I'm like, what? You want to eliminate extra paperwork? You want to smooth, streamline the process? Let's streamline that. Automatic voter registration requires Secretary of State branch office staff to ensure that when Michigan citizens apply for or update their driver's license or personal ID cards, they automatically are registered to vote unless they are ineligible or don't want to be registered. See, I wasn't asked. I always assumed that I had to ask to be registered, not ask not to be registered. So I didn't even know that I had to do that. And so if I didn't, I'm sure no one else does either. But what is ineligible? What does that mean? Michigan began implementing automatic voter registration for driver's licenses and personal ID transactions in person and online September 9th. Preliminary data for the Secretary of State suggests automatic voter registration already is increasing voter registration in Michigan. Wow, really? When you kind of force it on people, like make it an automatic thing, of course it's going to increase voter registration. Like, this is kind of crap. Driver's license and personal ID card applications now have an opt-out box, which an eligible applicant must check if he or she doesn't want to be registered to vote. So, I don't know. That's sus to me. Very sus. The next thing I want to share with you is a little video. So let's put the headset on. Connie says it will also help if someone has to have identification to vote. Right.
Wake up, Americans. You're about to be pulled into a war with Arabs, with the Muslim world. And you're going to be made to believe that something horrible that happened to you was done by the Muslims. But it wasn't done by the Muslims. It was done by a wild card, the Israeli Mossad, that's cunning and ruthless and can carry out attacks on Americans and make it look like Arabs did it.
That's the literal definition of a false flag. It is right that that's a false flag.
That's not my conspiracy theory. That's a U.S. Army report.
The day before, published the day before 9/11.
Yes. You can call me any name you want to call me. That's a U.S. Army report. They warned us. They were telling us what Israel is capable of doing.
As you know, if you've been here, I probably have to put this back on, but you know I'm against war. The only people that want war is certainly not us normal people. It doesn't matter if you're an Israeli Jew or you are living in Palestine, a Palestinian, you're American, you're Russian, you're Chinese. You don't want war. The only people that want war are banksters and governments and corporations that make war machines, right? Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Raytheon. These are the people that want war. So I don't want it. That's all I have to say right now about what's going on with that and the voting and the Palestinians and everything. 10,000 refugees next year. Crazy. I already told you it's going to be chaos, and it's by design. And I do want to do a whole video on the United Nations helping people come through the border. Okay, thousands of dollars on these little cards. The United Nations is flooding America. Now, what if we do go to war and our military goes overseas? And then there is some kind of attack here at home. Like, this is war, and we've been at war for a long time. We have to think about these types of things. When the troops are away, what could happen here? That sort of thing. So anybody else having connection issues or just me? I wouldn't be surprised if what I'm talking about has pissed somebody off on YouTube. So if it is having connection issues, it shouldn't be on my end, and I'm sorry for that. We're going to get into Flint, Michigan here because it's really sad. Flint residents react to end of water crisis criminal prosecutions. And I am going to play this video as well because it's sad.
Residents are reacting to the news that no one will be held criminally responsible for the Flint water crisis. In continuing coverage today, our David Sackwriter joins us here now live in the studio. And David, what are people of Flint telling you?
Well, in many ways, it was the things they weren't telling me that were the most powerful, reliving the pain and frustration of the water crisis, but with the knowledge there's nothing more the Attorney General's office can do.
Basically, just it's just
no conviction is going to make people feel safe again. Take away that pain that's going to impact that will last generations.
so true.
Before moving to Flint, Jemiah Turner lived in Benton Harbor, another area of the state battling lead in the water. Turner says the lack of criminal accountability is frustrating.
Too many people's lives been affected by it, and nobody has to be held accountable. That's crazy.
I agree. It's crazy. But it's just another sign, again, of our dystopian system that is being built around us. It doesn't have to be this way. And in the end, I don't think it will be. But right now, we are seeing, it's like boiling frogs, right? We are the frogs. They're trying to slowly bring us to a boil so we don't even realize what's happening. But I think they got a little overzealous with this 2020 Great Reset. I know they're close to their end game, and that's why they're rushing some things, but I think that definitely was to their disadvantage. It helped wake a lot of people up. Again, I have faith in the end it'll work out. But until then, there are going to be a lot of injustices like this. Obviously, people should have paid for this crisis that happened, and it shouldn't have happened. But alas. All right, you know what? I'm going to switch over to this because this is another thing that pisses me off, and I want to share it with you. So gas stove exception for celebrity chef Jose Andres rankles local restaurant owners. California crazy. This was May of this year. You come down here, local restaurant owners in Palo Alto, California, are speaking out after the liberal city granted celebrity chef Jose Andres an exception to a gas stove ban at his restaurant. Hopefully it's been fixed. Now that I'm not talking about that subject matter, I'm talking about gas stoves, though. Maybe that will cause some issues as well. I wish they would have given us a break. I haven't seen one yet. We're a busy restaurant. We pay our taxes. I don't know what the end result of this will be. So it's California crazy. Andres pushed back on the California gas stove ban for a new restaurant that was scheduled to open in the Stanford Shopping Center in Palo Alto. The developer installed the gas line at the building before city officials instructed that the building would have to be updated to new code. So just like what's happening here in Michigan, it's happening all over the United States, but the building code has been updated that gas is out. So there was pushback, and of course that was just a crazy conspiracy theory about the gas stoves, but no, there's truth to the story and that there is no gas stoves to be had in the new buildings. So all these new buildings that will take place in Grand Rapids, it'll be all electric. But this chef right here, he's connected. And I'm going to show you how connected he is. That's why he gets a gas stove and no one else does. The city of Palo Alto responded to Andres because he said, if you make me have an electric stove, I'm leaving. And they said, oh, wait, no, you can stay. You can have your gas stove. We don't want the rich people food to go away. By allowing gas service for the one project, but insisting all other new and remodeled projects would have to comply with electric requirements. Oh, so there you go. Yes, one project. He is the only one in all of California that will have a gas stove. Due to years-long planning effort, which started in 2019, 3 years before the city adopted the all-electric requirement, the city and the mall have agreed that this one project should be able to proceed with gas service consistent with the long-established project plans. It's always the rules are just for the average day, folks. But the people that hold wealth and power, they play by different rules. So it just begs the question, do they even believe some of that nonsense that they stand for? Because when you see them behind closed doors, they're doing something much different. He said, Fox and Friends. The host, Lawrence Jones, said that of Cross Country, who wants gas stoves, right? He is a business owner. He wants gas stoves, but he isn't connected, so he doesn't get them. It's just really strange that anytime we hear about something negative when it comes to California, when they make these rules, it's always someone that is wealthy or well-known that somehow finds a way to get an exemption. All right, so how connected is he? Come over here. The Rockefeller Foundation supports Jose Andres and the George Washington University's groundbreaking new institute for delivering food system solutions. Came out a couple days after. This was May 23rd. The other one was May 19th. May 19th, yes. So just a couple days later, Rockefeller, baby. That's some big connection, right? That's why he gets to keep his gas stove. World-renowned chef, author, and humanitarian. Oh, he's a humanitarian. Jose Andres, an international research leader. The George Washington University today announced their partnership to build a premier global food institute at GW, an unprecedented and transformative collaboration in the heart of the nation's capital with plans to be a world leader in food system solution delivery. Right. He has been recruited by the elitists to be the chef for them, so he gets this gas stove. Our global food system is experiencing a crisis brought on by systemic inequalities, rampant hunger and poverty, the climate crisis, and deteriorating public health and nutrition. But food has the power to solve problems. It can rebuild lives and communities, heal both people and the planet, and create hope for the future, but only if we think bigger. Got to get that vision of the anointed up there, guys, said Andres. He didn't say that last part. He said, if we only think bigger, end quote. I should make sure I get that right, end quote. So, quote from Andres, the Global Food Institute will reshape how we think about food, break down barriers across industries, politics, and nations, and inspire and empower the next generation to develop systemic solutions that reshape the food system. Oh, such beautiful words, don't you think? Driven by Andre's vision to change the world through the power of food. It's vision, his vision of the anointed Andres. The Global Food Institute at GW will work to transform people's lives and the health of our planet, taking a unique and interdisciplinary systems approach across three main pillars: policy, innovation, and humanities. Through this partnership, the Global Food Institute will produce cutting-edge research to create and improve domestic and global food policies, incubate and engineer innovative new technologies and entrepreneurial spirit, and lead critical conservations about the impact of food on the human race. By unifying and working across these pillars, the Institute will create actionable evidence, ideas, partnerships, and solutions to revolutionize the way we think about food. Yes, it's the bugs. In the George Washington University 3rd century, we are focused on accelerating the positive impact of our interdisciplinary scholarship on society, including through innovative partnership with visionary leaders. We are thrilled to establish, in partnership with Jose Andres, the Global Food Institute, a center that will create new knowledge and shape national and international progress on food issues. As the Global Food Institute is powered by philanthropy. Ooh, don't you love that? And as it prepares to embark on its journey, it welcomes partnerships with organizations, companies, foundations, and individuals who share a common vision of transforming the global food system. This would not be possible without the founding gift from Jose Andres. Thank you, Jose. You will change the food system. Gas? Stoves for everybody? Additionally, yeah, it goes on. You get the gist. I like to go to the Rockefeller Foundation press releases. You will find gems there that you did not think you would find. Next, we have the Bridges to Our Future Visualizing Outcomes. I want to remind people this is next week. Tuesday is my township board meeting, and I'm thinking about live streaming it, although I don't know how many people would really care. I'm thinking about it. Let me know if you would be interested in seeing that live. But this is Tuesday, November 14th from 5 to 7, Wednesday, the 15th, and Thursday. So there's 3 dates that you could go. You could go to all 3 dates if you feel like it. I'm going to choose one, probably Thursday, because that's my Friday. So maybe I'll see you there. I am going to film, hopefully. I don't want to be kicked out. I am not as brave as Rose or Corey yet. I will be honest, I've never been to one of these visioning meetings. My friends went, and I wish I could have gone with them. I didn't get a chance. This will be my first. And so I want to understand how it works for myself in person before I try to make any waves or counteract anything. So I want to see the Delphi technique and feel it in person before I start fighting it, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So this is just one of many, because look at, this is the new community master plan for the next 20 years. So there'll be plenty of different feedback sessions, and I will be going to more of them. I want to understand how it works. So if you are in the area, I highly recommend you go and make your community master plan, or at least try to. Now, more Michigan. House passes hotel tax bill to fund transformational projects in Kent County. This came out October 31st. This is where I got the soccer stadium. So it says right there, the State House on Tuesday passed a bill that would allow cities and townships in Kent County to levy lodging taxes to fund transformational and generational projects, such as planned riverfront amphitheater and a proposed soccer stadium in Grand Rapids. So that's one of the visions that they have. The river, I think, is right here. Oh, river maybe over there. See. Connie says, how to create bugs and people like it. Cricket flour, that's one way. And then bug powder in burgers. But it's like, why? Why a powder? What, garlic powder? Is that bad? I don't understand that. Anyway, The legislation, House Bill 5048, would let any city or township in the county ask voters to approve a lodging tax of up to 2%. The bill also includes a late amendment that would allow Kent County to raise its current 5% excise tax on hotel and motel stays up to 8%. So it's going to be costly to stay in Grand Rapids. You know, what is it? New Hampshire? No taxes? Love that. Let's do that instead of bumping them up all the time. Yeah. So I don't know why I did not highlight more in here. I'm not. Let's see. This is a critical policy for the future of Kent County, Fitzgerald said in an interview after the vote. This is going to help develop major projects that are going to be transformational and generational in Kent County, with the amphitheater and the soccer stadium really targeted uses for these dollars. This is going to help support Grand Rapids' position as a preeminent location and destination for tourism in the Midwest. City of Grand Rapids, the Grand Rapids Area Chamber of Commerce, and the Grand Rapids-Kent County Convention Arena Authority support the legislation for adding a potential revenue source for the planned $184 million amphitheater downtown. So taxpayers are paying for it. Again, it's always public money that invests and takes the risk, and then private profits. It's really getting annoying. I mean, it's been annoying for a while, but legislators Thursday amended the bill on the House floor to allow the lodging tax to be levied up to 8% and go towards sports complexes as well as convention and entertainment facilities. This would potentially aid in the development of a soccer stadium being considered for Grand Rapids West Side. So that's where I read about the soccer stadium. A previous amendment expanded the language to include aquariums, which could help support the development of a future aquarium, though the project being considered by John Ball Zoo hasn't been publicly committed to Grand Rapids. Interesting. Joshua Lunger, Vice President of Government Affairs for the Grand Rapids Chamber, said in a statement Thursday that the bill has been a top priority for the Chamber. 8 counties have adopted ordinances to that effect: Calhoun, Genesee, Ingham, Kalamazoo, Kent, Muskegon, Saginaw, and Washtenaw. Kent County's room tax is 5% and has gone toward paying off the debt of the construction of Van Annel Arena and the DeVos Place Convention Center. Why? Why is our taxes going up to pay for Van Annel and DeVos? Like, these are very rich people. Oh, that's right, because they steal from us and launder the money, and we've been falling for it. Yeah, that's why. Rick Wynn, who chairs the Grand Rapids Kent County Convention Arena Authority, as well as Grand Rapids Downtown Development Authority, said earlier this month that the DDA stands ready to commit payments for bonds on the 12,000 seat amphitheater, but it needs a revenue stream to do so. Oh, taxpayers got you, bruh. Taxpayers. And then this, the Michigan Strategic Fund, October 24th, had a meeting, and I missed it, and I apologize because this was announced during that. This Factory Yards Transformational Brownfield Project, proposing a large-scale mixed-use redevelopment project to be located on a portion of Godfrey Avenue south of Market Avenue Southwest, from approximately the railroad tracks to north of Oxford Street Southwest. I can't visualize it. Unfortunately, I don't know Grand Rapids that well. I can see here, obviously, the river. But yes, this project. The property currently contains 4 buildings, including 5-story warehouse, 3-story warehouse, single-story warehouse, and a 2-story commercial building, totaling approximately 650,000 existing square feet. Factory Yards project would include the rehabilitation of the 5, 3, and 1-story buildings, partial demolition and rehabilitation of the 2-story commercial building, and a construction of a new residential apartment building on the south end of the property, resulting in approximately 480,000 square feet when complete. Current estimates of for the proposed uses include a total of 467 apartments. So this whole thing will just have 400. Is that about right? Does that seem low? I don't know. 467 apartments, ground floor commercial space, a food hall, an event space, commercial offices, a fitness, recreation use, and self-storage over approximately 500,000 feet, and include an outdoor green space plaza courtyard. So my question is, what do you think? First, of course, those of you who live in Grand Rapids, I would love to know your thoughts on this project. The other thing is, who is going to take care of these things, the fitness and recreation and the outdoor green space and that kind of thing? Who, if it's supposed to be the government that takes care of these things, because if you don't own your property, right, you don't have a vested interest in in maintaining it, you have a vested interest, but in upgrading it at all, none, right? If I'm just renting, why would I try invest and make the place better when I could be kicked out at any time? If it's government housing, same thing. You don't know if you're going to be staying in that place, how long you will be staying if it's government housing. So they could move you whenever they want. I mean, when I was in the military, right? They do whatever they want. And it's very inefficient, and it's not at all how you think it's going to be. So I worry about government housing a lot. And of course, I worry about our future here in Michigan because of our beautiful water and the fact that they want it. They being the central planners. That's why Michigan, the World Economic Forum is here, right? We're important. Unfortunately, we're important to these people, and that's why they're here. And I wish they did not look at our water and want it. I wish they would just leave us the hell alone. Connie says there are many old factories and warehouses in that area, which includes a 2-story antique sellers building. This complex would be downstream from the new amphitheater. Yeah, I mean, I am not for rundown buildings, obviously, but I'm also not for government doing something with it. I like the free market. I like when people can make decisions for themselves and what's best. And I like variety. I don't want to go down the street and see one elm, one birch, and one oak tree in every yard, because that's what's optimal for the earth and all this stuff, inventorying everything and making sure that I don't like any of that. If you like elm, plant an elm tree. If you like birch, plant a birch tree. That's how I like it. Anyway, I'm going on tangents. Musk reveals new AI chatbot kicks off counter LLM movement against woke open AI. Now, this just came out November 4th. I talked about Elon Musk a lot yesterday. Obviously, he's a very important man. I'm going to be talking about him a lot because he is heavily involved with the transhumanism movement, Industry 4.0, all of it. This, though, is mostly for the comment section, which we're going to get down to. The artificial intelligence venture, XAI, is positioning itself as a competitor to OpenAI, which Musk helped establish in 2015, before eventually parting ways with it. He had his pause in 2015 in AI. And it begs the question, if AI just became available to us, 2022? Yeah, just a year. And they've had it since at least 2015. Again, we have no idea what our taxpayer dollars are being used for to create what kind of technology that is being used against us. AI is rolling out its own large language model, just like OpenAI's ChatGPT, featuring a new capability to scrape the free speech platform X in real time. Oh, is this why he bought it? Is it really not at all about free speech? It was about data, that he was willing to spend $45 billion for data because it's more important than oil, more valuable than oil, and that Twitter is the place where every journalist goes. I mean, I'm reading a book called The Universal Journalist, and Twitter is it. I mean, X now, it's called X, but that's the first place people go. TikTok too, but obviously they're two different mediums, right? You got writing versus watching a video. So anyway, Early Friday morning, Musk posted, tomorrow at XAI will release its first AI to a select group. In some important respects, it is the best that currently exists. In some important respects, yeah, because unlike ChatGPT, which asks humans after the fact to come in and kind of train the AI and stuff, no, Elon Musk's AI has all of the data on Twitter, human beings already interacted, and not even with the AI, but now the AI can take that information and use it. It's just crazy. And again, please, he is a wolf. Elon Musk is a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I'm not. Yeah, tomorrow will be released. Oh, hello. Go back. Then on Friday night, Musk wrote, as soon as it's out of early beta, XAI's Grok system will be available to all X Premium Plus subscribers. Yes, and so that's another thing. When you have the subscription model, the software system where you don't own anything, yeah, it's a pay-to-win system. So the more money you put in, the more you get out of it. And so if you're poor, you're screwed. It's the same thing with every single policy that's going on right now. It's like the rich people don't care about getting their freaking their license plate read and a ticket sent to them. They'll just pay it. Whatever. I will drive wherever I want to drive, no matter what my carbon footprint is. I'll just pay. Poor people can't do that. So we're the only ones that get screwed over when it comes to these things. Musk's post reveals Grok is a model, and I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. It's brand new. I haven't heard it said yet. Is a model that answers questions conversationally and could be based on models similar to train ChatGPT. Tickle. Hate when that happens. It's enough to drive you crazy. Here's some of Musk's humor. AI Grok system is designed to have a little humor in its responses. Okay, it keeps messing up. I'm going to go down. Details about Grok remain scarce, yet indications are that the wealthiest man in the world is initiating a counter LLM movement that will challenge the already massive available LLMs on the market, such as ChatGPT, which is super woke and has Soviet-style censorship. So you think that he's going to do any better? It'd just be different kind of censorship. And that's why we shouldn't have any censorship at all, because no one should be manipulating the information. Let's see. Connie says, oh, this one. I'm not either. They're including more apartment buildings. Okay. Talking about the big project that I was discussing. Sorry, I missed that comment. And so Musk, I compared the AI to a magic genie and explained that fairy tales with magic genies that grant wishes don't end well and cause people to be careful what you wish for. To sum up, Musk has just kicked off the counter LLM movement against the censorship industrial complex's current chatbots on the market. This is more evidence the parallel economy is gaining momentum. Again, controlled opposition. He is actually the most anti-establishment individual that you could come across. This is specifically for Michigan as well. Fourth Industrial Revolution, Michigan manufacturers need to get on board or get left behind. Neil Baldick, the owner of Trite-Gritty Machine, a small Tier 2 CNC manufacturer in Michigan's Upper Peninsula, was ecstatic when he got word from the MEDC that he was awarded a matching grant of $25,000 from the Industry 4.0 fund. The money allowed him to buy a cobot for his 7-person shop. The cobot does machine tending. It's our first step in automation and increases machine uptime and runtime without an operator. It makes us more productive. Robots make small businesses more productive. Without the $25,000 matching grant, he had to spend $50,000 to get $25,000 from MEDC. He would not have been able to afford the cobot on his own, he said. It's also possible with the improved efficiency, this company may be able to soon hire a few new workers, he added, increasing employment in Michigan is MED's prime directive. Increasing employment. How is getting a robot instead of a human being increasing employment? It's not. Now, you could say, though, somebody needs to program the robot and keep it clean and maintenance stuff. So it's just different jobs, which is something that I have actually argued, is that the jobs will just be different, right? You can't replace humans, but the jobs will change. You will no longer lay the brick. You will work on the robot that lays the brick. So there will be a job for humans. Now, companies will probably create a robot that will work on robots. But again, we'll get into that dystopian nightmare when it comes. Enter the Michigan Economic Development Corporation and its efforts to solve both problems for manufacturers. The MEDC has provided two $3 million Industry 4.0 grants, one in June 2022 and a second in January of 2023. Bernhard said the first, what MEDC hoped would provide funding for 2 years, was used up in 6 months. We are paying, again, I have to keep saying this because this is what's happening. We're paying for our own enslavement. We're paying for companies to get into Industry 4.0, which is not just robots, it's automation, it's data collection, and the communication of that data collection. So several different things are collecting data. Something has to put it all together and push out some kind of results from all that data to make your company more efficient. It's all about digitizing, right? The digital twin, all of that. It's Industry 4.0. And so taxpayer money is going for them to upgrade their systems in order to basically be always online. If you're a video game player like myself, when they started doing things like, oh, it'll always be online. If you don't have internet, just stick with your old system, stick with your Xbox 360. I was deployed when that whole thing happened. And I was like, I went to PlayStation because don't tell me that you want it always online. I don't want it always online. Well, if you don't like it, shove it. Well, how about you shove it? And it was a big deal back then when the Xbox was being launched, the Xbox One. But it's the same concept to me. It's like, don't push something that I don't want. Don't push on me the always online. I don't want my data I don't want every time I walk into a store that my face is being scanned and put into a database somewhere for some purpose. And again, I don't get any money from all this data collection, but they get tons. If Michigan really wants to be the world epicenter for advanced manufacturing, the state of Michigan needs to provide a lot more financial support, Bernhard said. At MGA alone, we'd need another $155 million to provide $25,000 grants to all those manufacturers that said they needed money to buy Industry 4.0 equipment. The state treasury has a $6 billion surplus right now. Just $1 billion from that surplus would jumpstart Industry 4.0 manufacturing statewide. Now, the other side of the coin is this. Walmart and all of these other big industries, they're already doing this type of stuff. How is a local small business supposed to compete? Talk about parallel societies, though. Why do you want to compete? You will never be able to really compete with Amazon, Walmart, these giants. You won't. So don't compete. Go into the blue ocean, right? Of marketing, like find something new, do something different. be the store that has no cameras. Maybe that parallel society, like there will be a demand for that type of business, you know? So it's not black and white. Nothing is, right? It's a very complex issue. And of course, I want small businesses to succeed. And I would rather my money go to a local small business than to Ukraine or any other war or to any other country, period. So in that way, I'd rather my money stay here. Let me know. What do you guys think? Do you think that we should just give $1 billion to jumpstart Industry 4.0 in the manufacturing world here in Michigan? Or do you think that perhaps we should not rush forward into Industry 4.0 when it may not be in our best interest? I don't know. The fourth industrial revolution, dubbed I 4.0, goes far beyond the robots introduced to the factory floor in the last century to include automation, data interchange, and contemporary manufacturing technology. Industry 4.0 includes computing, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, and incorporation of advanced sensors for predictive machinery maintenance. Michigan continues to wear the crown as the world's leading manufacturing region. Its 100-year-old plus manufacturing sector needs to embrace these technologies to compete with the rapidly retooling rest of the world. This approach, okay, so new versus existing employee challenges. As Industry 4.0 takes shape, there's a seismic shift in how employees are trained and problems are addressed in the manufacturing sector. New entrants, while tech savvy, must navigate the complex interplay between cutting-edge digital tools and time-tested manufacturing practices. Comprehensive training is key, ensuring that newcomers not only grasp the latest tech, but also understand the age-old subtleties. Hello, that's the word. I don't know why. I don't think I've ever seen it written out. Subtleties with the IES at the end. This approach requires a robust system for capturing, managing, and sharing knowledge. When they say knowledge, they're data, okay? Capturing, managing, and sharing data. The ultimate goal, a smooth-running manufacturing line, minimizes costs and upholds the highest standards of production. MEDC Senior Vice President Natalie Kamiko, who leads the Industry 4.0 program for the MEDC, readily admits the cost of technology remains a barrier for Industry 4.0 participation, particularly for small to medium-sized manufacturers, right? They want to get them up to speed. To solve that problem, MEDC enlisted educational institutions and regional partners that deal directly with Michigan manufacturers. That group includes Automation Alley, the Industry 4.0 accelerator hosted by Lawrence Technological University, and Lean Rocket Lab. Networks Northwest, Great Lakes Bay Manufacturers Association, The Right Place is another one. Macomb County, MGA, and Southwest Michigan First. Said she hopes to work with more educational partners in the future to help support this initiative. MEDC has done a good job of securing the initial $6 million investment, but we need to continue to fund this initiative. We need another $155 million investment to fund our small manufacturers. There you have it. What do you guys think? You want to give that money up for Industry 4.0? I think that the video will be shorter today. I still have 3 of you hanging out. Thank you. I know that Industry 4.0 and manufacturing isn't glorious, but it is important to understand where we are going, where the future of industry in general is going, and why. So hopefully I introduced some information that you did not know before. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of these topics, and especially, like I said, the manufacturing portion. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to do something a little different. I am going to do some shorter videos to see how those go, but they will be live streams. So 1 article per live stream type of thing. We'll see how it goes. So tomorrow, maybe I'll see you live. Otherwise, I will see you Monday at 10 a.m. again. And I I don't know exactly what I'll be talking about. So Connie says, and of course the taxpayers will support it. Yep. I mean, do we have a choice? That's the ultimate question. If we say we don't want it, will they do it anyway? Because so far, that's a trend I have noticed since and it's only been this 1 year that I've actually been looking at our government and trying to figure out what the hell they're doing. And I'm talking local townships as well as in Lansing. And so far, they don't like us looking at them and they don't want to hear what we have to say. So much so that when it came to this wind and solar initiative that they just passed to take the power away from the township and give it to basically Whitmer, that I totally lost where I was going with my little rant. Oh, I guess I was just going to say that was a clear indication. Oh, sorry, there we go. I found it. They were changing the times, right? So we had people drive 2 hours to go to Lansing to try to talk about wind and solar. And then the House or the Senate, our lawmakers kept delaying the process. They ended up passing the bill at midnight. Like that's because they don't want anybody to witness what they're doing. They make it deliberately difficult to watch them, to hold them accountable in every way possible, from encrypting emails to manipulating the time slots of when they're, and not even putting the agenda out. I read an article that this week, it was Monday morning, there was still no agenda out for our government. What are they doing? They're avoiding us. That's what they're doing because they know they're wrong. If you're doing the right thing, you would say, please come, yes, watch us. This is what we're doing. Thank you for being involved. Thank you for, being involved in the process here in America. Instead, they say everything they can, go away, basically. That is their outlook on the population, the public that they're supposed to be working for. That's what they look at us like. And it drives me nuts. And that's just 1 year. Now, maybe it wasn't always like this, but we don't know because we've been asleep at the wheel, right? We've allowed them to do whatever the hell they want to do without accountability. And now that we're trying to hold them accountable, they laugh at us. Who are you? Who are you to try to hold me accountable? You don't pay my bills. I'm not a millionaire because of you. This is, by the way, lawmakers, because a lot of the lawmakers are millionaires, and it's certainly not from taxpayer dollars. It's from all the bribes that they take and all the promises that they make. You've been here for a while. You know this, so I'm preaching to the choir, I'm sure. I just can't help myself. I want to talk about it with somebody, but most people don't want to hear it. They just want to not look at their government anymore, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they want. But I know what I want. I want our government to actually listen to us and do what we want. So hopefully someday that will happen. But we do have to fight for it. Freedom ain't free, right? So thank you guys. Zoltan the man, thanks for what you do. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a much better connection. Yes, hopefully. And if it's on my end, I apologize. I'm plugged in direct. I don't do the Wi-Fi thing for this. So it could be YouTube. Definitely could be YouTube. Connie says appalling. Our government is appalling right now. But it doesn't have to be that way, and it won't be forever. So I want to say once again, thank you for being here. And lastly, faith over fear, guys. Don't stop fighting for truth and love and justice. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll see you Monday at 10 a.m.